it's not a competition. Which minority group has had it worse? We are allies of all the people who have been forever, whatever reason, upon and hunted and downtrodden and treated unfairly. But in the last 100 years, I mean, there's nobody who's had it worse than the Jews. The Holocaust was in the 1940s, okay? Were black people treated well in America? No, they weren't in the 1940s. And there is still racism today.
But there is in every country.
But 6 million people were hunted, rounded up, and murdered.
But not only Jews. They were traveling people, gay people,
yes.
people that had disabilities. So it wasn't just Jews. You add all of those on.
Yes.
So it's like, you know, it's just when people go, my heritage, my legacy, this, that, the other, it's like, yeah, well, what about the Jews, mate? And do you know what somebody of color said to me? In England, a friend of mine. And I asked him because he's a lot younger. And I'm like, okay, what do your people think of Jews? And he goes, they don't give a shit. And
whose people are we talking about? This person you're talking about?
He's a person of color.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but English guy.
Right.
And I'm like, so it's, when you say to people of color, well, yes, you've been persecuted, but how about being persecuted for 4,000 years? And you go, well, what about the Irish? What about the Scottish? You could go on and on and on.
I don't think people understand. My people, the Irish people, were subjugated by your people, the English.
Hey, I'm half Irish. Give me a break.
I know.
But it's like, but people forget what happened to the Irish.
I think people think of Ireland because it's right near England, and maybe they know that the northern part of it, Northern Ireland, is actually part of the United Kingdom. But they think of them together for good reason. They're very close together. But the Gaelic people in Ireland did not speak English at all. So when the English conquered Ireland, they were conquering a country that was as different from England.
Exactly.
As many of the other countries they conquered in the world.
But they stole their land. They tortured its people.
Yes, they treated the English very harshly.
Well, the English treated the Irish despicably, and it went on for years and years and years.
So, you know, again, it's not a competition.
It isn't a competition.
All I'm ever saying is, let's be realistic. Let's be realistic and look at things with perspective. There's a lot of suffering and a lot of reasons for suffering. And racism is certainly America's #1 worst crime, hands down. But there's other bad things, and other bad things have happened to people. And
but as I say,
let's look forward. Let's acknowledge the past, but let's not dwell there.
Yeah, you've got to move on. At some point, you've got to let it go. You have to. But the thing is, that's a thing about learning from history, because you have to know the history to be able to change things.
Yes.
And that's why it's important that people understand about history.
And acknowledge where we realistically are in the world now. It's different. 2023 is really quite different, even than 2003.
So,
you know, I know that as a white person, I can't know as well as, of course not, agreed. None of us can. But it doesn't mean we're not, we're
compassionate, you want things to change.
And also aware and have a pair of eyes.
Yes.
I can see how the world has changed. Maybe not as well as you, but I can see it. And it's just, let's just acknowledge and move on from a point of realism of where we are today. And, you know, how about a pat on the back as opposed to lots of countries that never got over a lot of their, from their past. But America did. You know, America is able to change. This irredeemably racist, not irredeemably.
No, it's not.
Not irredeemably.
It's not.
It was horrific for way too long, but most people today in America are just not there. I mean, we have polling on this. Like, something like over 90% of people of both races want to live in a mixed race neighborhood. That never happened when I was a kid. Well, I lived in a completely all-white town.
See,
That was
I didn't. I was brought up in a
really.
town that, well, in a part of London that was full of Jamaican people and African people, and it was
Wow.
brilliant.
Well, that's not the common experience of someone of your age in England, though.
Yeah.
People.
I lived in an area called Brixton,
Okay.
and the immigrants used to
Right. Sure.
congregate there. That was their area, but it was also a very artsy area.
I bet you it was a lot more interesting. Hey, thanks for watching the clip. Hit the subscribe button now so you never miss out on our Club Random content that's posted daily.